An aggressor aircraft is an adversary aircraft. It's used as an opposing force within military combat training. The aggressor should simulate enemy tactics, enemy procedures, enemy's ways of fighting.
So to manage to handle all the forces on your body during the solar display, you need to be well prepared. You need to do your workout every now and then to have the proper muscles, but also the technique to take care of the G-loads.
This aircraft allows for the use of today's most demanding algorithms, such as deep learning algorithms and the complex algorithms used for the sensor fusion, utilizing all the new sensors we have in the aircraft and also providing synergy from them.
What if a single fighter jet could redefine NATO's electronic warfare capabilities? We're talking about the Gripen and a groundbreaking proposal to turn Canada into the ultimate testing ground. Imagine next-generation countermeasures forged right here, pushing the boundaries of defense innovation against the threats of tomorrow. This isn't just about a new aircraft, it's about a strategic leap for the entire alliance. Could Canada become the undisputed leader in NATO's electronic warfare evolution, all thanks to the Gripen? This isn't just a hypothetical, it's a very real discussion about leveraging the Gripen's advanced systems to create an unparalleled testbed. We'll explore how this could position Canada at the forefront of alliance defense innovation, developing cutting-edge countermeasures against the rapidly evolving threats we face. Discover how the Gripen could transform Canada into a vital NATO testbed for advanced electronic warfare. We're diving deep into its sophisticated systems and how they offer an unparalleled proving ground for next-generation countermeasures. This move could not only bolster Canada's defense, but also solidify its role at the forefront of alliance innovation against the most challenging modern threats.
For any measure, there will be a countermeasure. The one who knows more wins.
As soon as you're airborne, you will be tracked and targeted by hostile sensors on land.
People still talk about fighter jets in terms of speed and maneuverability. But in 2026, air combat is increasingly decided by something far less visible: control of the electromagnetic spectrum. And that's exactly why the Gripen E keeps coming up in serious defense conversations, not because it's flashy, but because of its electronic warfare architecture. Why is everyone buzzing about Gripen's EW capabilities? Modern air combat is not just about who fires first, it's about who sees first, and increasingly, who blinds first. The buzz around Gripen centers on its integrated electronic warfare suite, Saab's Airexis system. Airexis is not marketed as a simple radar warning receiver or defensive countermeasure package. It is presented as a scalable electronic warfare ecosystem capable of detecting, classifying, and geolocating threats across the spectrum, actively jamming or deceiving adversary radar systems, operating in both defensive and offensive electronic attack roles. What makes it stand out in public discussions is not just capability, it's adaptability. Airexis has been positioned as a system that can be integrated onboard platforms like the Saab JAS-39 Gripen E, but also configured in podded or mission-specific formats. That flexibility has fueled speculation that it could serve broader NATO electronic warfare roles beyond a single airframe. And that's where the conversation shifts from fighter jet feature to alliance-level asset. What makes Airexis a potential game-changer? Here's where things get interesting. Unlike legacy EW systems that are tightly locked into fixed hardware architectures, Gripen E was designed around a distributed avionics framework. The idea is not just to survive in contested airspace, but to evolve with it. The aircraft's architecture is often described as software-driven, with high levels of sensor fusion and rapid reprogrammability. That matters because electronic warfare is not static. Threat libraries change, radar modes evolve, signal environments shift. A jet that cannot adapt quickly becomes vulnerable, even if its airframe remains modern. In theory, Airexis allows for rapid threat database updates, agile waveform adaptation, integration with networked data sharing environments. In other words, it treats electronic warfare as a living system, not a fixed feature. Now, to be clear, real-world performance data is classified. No public source can definitively rank EW suites across NATO platforms. But what's observable is the strategic positioning. Saab is framing EW not as an add-on, but as a core design philosophy. That distinction matters. Modularity and future-proofing, the upgrade argument. This may be the most strategically important piece. Gripen's design philosophy emphasizes modularity and life cycle agility. Instead of locking operators into long, complex modernization cycles, the platform is marketed as capable of incremental upgrades, particularly in software-intensive domains like EW. For a country like Canada, operating in the Arctic, under NORAD obligations, and within NATO's evolving electronic battlespace, that modularity is not a luxury, it's insurance. Electronic warfare is one of the fastest evolving domains in modern defense. A fighter bought today must still remain credible in 2040. The ability to upgrade without tearing apart the aircraft becomes a force multiplier. And here's the deeper question. If NATO needed a geographically secure environment to test, refine, and stress its next-generation electronic warfare tactics, would Canada's vast airspace make it an ideal laboratory? That's where this discussion stops being about one jet and starts becoming about alliance strategy.
If Gripen's electronic warfare story is about capability, Canada's story is about geography. And geography, in defense planning, is destiny. Why Canada? Look at a map. Canada controls one of the largest airspaces on Earth, stretching deep into the Arctic, across the North Atlantic approaches, and into the Pacific. The Arctic is no longer a frozen buffer, it's a strategic corridor. More activity, more patrols, more long-range aviation presence from peer competitors. Monitoring that airspace isn't just about intercepting aircraft, it's about detecting emissions, tracking electronic signatures, and understanding what's happening across vast, sparsely populated regions where radar coverage is complex and distances are brutal. In that environment, advanced electronic warfare isn't optional, it's foundational. Canada's northern geography also creates a unique opportunity. Wide, relatively uncongested airspace, ideal for testing high-end spectrum operations in realistic conditions. If NATO were ever looking for a secure environment to refine electronic tactics, few places offer Canada's scale and isolation. Canada's current defense landscape. Canada's defense obligations are layered. Continental defense under NORAD, NATO commitments in Europe, Arctic sovereignty enforcement. Each layer increases reliance on advanced sensor fusion, electronic intelligence, and spectrum dominance. Modern threats aren't just physical aircraft. They're data-linked, networked systems operating across multiple domains. Without strong EW capability, even advanced fighters risk being outpaced by evolving radar and missile systems. Electronic warfare becomes not just a survivability tool, but a strategic equalizer. Strong, secure, engaged. Policy meets technology. Canada's defense policy, strong, secure, engaged, emphasizes modernization, continental defense, and technological relevance within NATO. While written before today's sharper geopolitical tensions, its core principle remains clear. Canada must remain interoperable, credible, and capable in high-end conflict environments. Advanced EW capability aligns directly with that mandate. It strengthens NORAD integration, it reinforces NATO interoperability, and it future-proofs Canada's air power against evolving threats. The real question isn't whether Canada needs advanced electronic warfare, it's whether Canada could become the place where NATO quietly refines it. This is where the discussion shifts from procurement to strategy. Because when we say test bed, we're not talking about a jet doing a few evaluation flights. We're talking about a living laboratory. What does test bed actually mean? In defense terms, a test bed isn't just about checking whether an aircraft can fly in cold weather or land on icy runways. It's about integration. Integrating new electronic warfare software updates, stress testing sensor fusion under contested conditions, running interoperability trials with allied platforms, rapidly inserting new countermeasure libraries against evolving threats. A real test bed is about innovation cycles. You test, refine, upgrade, and repeat. If the Gripen were positioned in Canada as more than just an operational fighter, it could become a platform for experimentation in spectrum warfare under NATO frameworks. And that's not a trivial distinction, because electronic warfare evolves faster than airframes do. Why Canada's NATO role matters.
Canada is not a peripheral NATO state. It sits at the intersection of NORAD continental defense, NATO transatlantic operations, Arctic sovereignty enforcement. Canadian forces regularly participate in multinational exercises, from Arctic sovereignty patrols to large-scale NATO drills in Europe. These exercises already simulate contested environments, including electronic disruption, radar denial, and degraded communications. Add a platform designed around modular EW architecture into that ecosystem, and suddenly those exercises become data-rich development cycles. Canada's vast airspace provides scale. Its NATO integration provides realism. Its geography provides stress. That combination is rare. Real-world scenarios, simulating peer threats. Now imagine practical applications. A Gripen-based test environment in Canada could simulate advanced integrated air defense systems, replicate jamming-heavy environments similar to peer conflict zones, test adaptive countermeasures against evolving radar waveforms, refine tactics for operating under GPS-denied conditions. Instead of reacting to emerging threats after they appear elsewhere, NATO forces could model, counter, and refine responses in advance. That's the strategic edge of a testbed. It doesn't just prepare you for the next war, it lets you rehearse the spectrum before it's contested for real. And if that role were anchored in Canada, geographically secure, politically stable, deeply embedded in NATO, it would represent more than a procurement decision. It would represent positioning Canada not just as a participant in alliance defense, but as a quiet driver of its evolution. If Canada became the place where Gripen's EW gets pushed hardest, the real value wouldn't be today's jamming. It would be what comes next and how fast it can be fielded. What advanced countermeasures could be developed in Canada? A Canada-based testbed could focus on countermeasures that match modern threat behavior, not Cold War templates. Think adaptive jamming that changes technique as the threat changes, not one-size-fits-all. Smarter decoys and deception tactics that manipulate what an adversary radar believes it sees. Resilience in degraded environments, heavy interference, communications loss, GPS disruption. Rapid reprogramming pipelines, new threat signatures, updated libraries, validated tactics on a tight loop. The point is speed. In EW, the side that updates faster often wins. The AI/ML angle, real potential, real limits. AI/ML is the next hype word, so here's the disciplined take. AI won't magically solve electronic warfare, but it can help with the hardest part, signal classification under chaos. Future-facing EW work on a Gripen platform could explore faster emitter recognition in dense signal environments, pattern detection across large volumes of spectrum data, decision support, recommending best responses under time pressure. But it has to be done responsibly, because in combat, false positives and wrong classifications aren't bugs, they're losses. So any AI/ML integration would likely be heavily controlled, validated, and layered, supporting humans, not replacing them. Collaboration opportunities. Why partners would care? A credible testbed doesn't just help one country, it pulls others in. If Canada can offer a secure environment, NATO-grade exercises, high-quality data conditions, it becomes attractive for allied R&D partnerships, shared tactics development, shared test events, industry collaboration, payloads, pods, sensors, software updates, multinational interoperability trials, where systems actually learn to work together under stress. And that's the quiet strategic payoff. Canada wouldn't just be buying capability, Canada would be hosting the evolution of capability, pulling in partners, shaping standards, and turning training into real-world innovation. Because in the next era of air power, the winners won't just have better jets, they'll have faster learning loops. If this concept became reality, the biggest shift wouldn't just be technical, it would be strategic. Elevating Canada inside NATO. Hosting advanced electronic warfare development would move Canada beyond being a reliable contributor. It would position Canada as a driver of innovation within NATO. Advanced software engineering, signal processing, AI-assisted analytics, secure communication systems. That means spillover into aerospace, cybersecurity, and research sectors, strengthening domestic industry and high-skill employment. defense innovation often accelerates civilian technology. The bigger vision. This wouldn't just be about one aircraft. It would cement Canada as a secure, technologically advanced hub for Allied experimentation, reinforcing Arctic credibility, strengthening NATO integration, and anchoring Canada in next-generation defense conversations. In modern alliances, relevance equals leverage.